Okay, so you came up with the idea for the game, right?
Actually, it was our executive producer, Neil Young. He's the one who came up with the idea for the game, and then we all worked together to create the design.
So does the game work exactly? Like a little walkthrough.
Okay. Well, the game it's the first Wii trivia game, and it's tuned to allow players of all ages to play together from 8 years old on up. And we'll play the friends mode, but in the family mode, you can play alongside all of the younger people in your family, and they have an even chance to win that you do, right? Because it's all cooperative, everybody contributes, so everybody gets to feel good about their work in the game.
And the questions are pre-designed for whatever age you put in?
Yes, they are. And so every question is tuned and it's appropriate for a specific age. So if you put in let's say age 8, as I'm going to do because I'm not I'm not as smart as my 10-year-old son, right? Then you'll get questions that are appropriate to an 8-year-old child. And if you put 34, you'll get questions appropriate for that. And so if you put in 34, you better be ready to answer questions about the 80s because that's what you're going to get, right?
And I heard it goes up to age 80, is that correct?
It does. Actually, there's no upper limit, but we really stop trying to give you appropriate questions once you reach 80. And so in wager mode here, it's a shootout to determine how many points each question is worth, whether you get it right or wrong. So I like science, so I'm going to shoot all the green icons I can and drive the points up. And
the other players have the ability to shoot as well.
Oh, everybody is shooting all at one time because if Brooke, for example, doesn't like science, then she's going to shoot the red icons to keep the points down. Otherwise I'll run away with the score. So to answer this, we have to press the A button and raise our hand real quick like we're in school.
Yeah, I noticed there were cards that you get sometimes. Can you explain those a little bit more?
Sure. And you can see here, as Trudy spins, the cards are on the inside of the wheel there, and they're kind of randomized as it goes through. And now we can nudge to get different cards that have different effects. This one, for example, now Trudy is going to have to do what's called the double points dance. And now every question she gets will be multiplied based on how well she dances. And we're going to see her do that. And if she does little tiny dances, she's not going to get a very good score. But if she does big dances, she's going to get a big score.
So how does it exactly measure how much you dance?
Well, come on, Trudy, get up. Go, go, go. Nice. The game, every Wii remote has an accelerometer, and so we've done some things to measure how the accelerometer, what signals are coming from the accelerometer. And we know because we want it to be dancing, it'd be easy for players to kind of cheat and do a little quick shake like this. So we've discounted that entirely. Now you have to do all sorts of different things in order to get a high score. We want all of the players interacting all the time. And so if they're standing there and they're dancing and tugging and shaking and doing all sorts of things, especially in the family mode, then they're really going to have a good time. And we found, you just sort of look around here today, the people playing family mode and doing all the shaking and jumping and stuff are having a blast. We carefully looked at how other games were using the Wii remote and what people like to do with the Wii. And we realized that players in general really enjoy it. It's not just a controller, right? Players in general really like shaking the Wii remote or gesturing to throw something. And all of the popular games, in particular like Mario Galaxy, right? They do that. And so we looked at ways to kind of maximize the number of times we do that. And I think we came up with a really good system.
So do you get 10 nudges on every single time you spin the wheel?
Yes, every person gets 10 nudges every time we spin the wheel. And that way it's a much more competitive experience.
What other kinds of cards are there?
There are cards that let you try to steal the question from the other player. It's a Tug-of-War card. And so you don't automatically steal the question, you just have to tug harder and longer than anybody else, than the other person who's playing, in order to steal the question. There's another card that allows you to make the question harder, and you have to And another card that does the opposite makes the question easier. So you play that one defensively, right, to try to make it easier for yourself. And everybody else, of course, is going to try to make it harder. And there are other cards that stop the timer so that you have more time to answer the question. Let's see. Category Switcheroo that pulls up that shooting gallery, but for categories, so you shoot the category you want. So if it's like places and people and I had that card, I could play the card and switch the category to something or try to switch the category to something I like better.
And I was reading about the Tug-of-War aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that one a little bit more?
Sure, and I'll try to get the card next time.
Okay.
The Tug-of-War, if say I knew this question after Trudy buzzed in, I could play the Tug-of-War card. And now you can see here that Trudy is in jail because she got it wrong after buzzing in before the question was done typing.
So there's no like get out of jail free card.
No. So the Tug-of-War, if I knew the answer after Trudy buzzed in, I could play that card, and then she and I face off in a Tug-of-War. Oh! Wow, sorry. Thought Abraham Lincoln was born in Ohio. And then the two of us will do, camera's on, but we'll do this long pulling motion with the Wii remote. And whoever can do the longest pulling motion, the best longest pulling motion, fastest wins. And then they get to answer the question. It's an exhausting process, and I'll try to get it up here. So Trudy played the I Know It card against me, and now she and I will have a Tug-of-War. Okay? And all we have to do, have you done this before? All we have to do is pull the rope, just like we're tugging a rope. Okay? But it's not that simple. The winner still has to answer the question. So you can see she won. But she still has to answer the question.